Hello, I'm Monica Reinagel, and you're listening to the Nutrition Diva podcast. Welcome. NFL star Tom Brady's new book just hit the shelves, accompanied by massive fanfare. Perhaps you've already heard some about it. The book outlines his TB12 method, and this is a holistic approach to training, nutrition, and lifestyle that he promises will help you achieve a lifetime of sustained peak performance. Now, that Tom Brady has had a long career as an elite athlete is beyond question. How much his approach to nutrition has to do with his success is somewhat debatable. Although there is some good advice, most of the nutrition information in this book is just nonsense. Stuff that's been circulating around the mythosphere for decades, if not longer. Brady and his team recycle all of that here, accompanied by the usual quasi-scientific mumbo-jumbo. Some of these principles have been around for thousands of years, he writes. Yep, that doesn't make them true, just old. For example, Brady advises us not to drink too much water with our meals because it interferes with digestion and, quote, washes away the body's natural enzymes which break down your food, end quote. As I've pointed out before, this doesn't really make sense. Some of the healthiest foods we eat, such as raw vegetables, are up to 90% water. And no one worries about vegetables diluting your stomach acid or your enzymes. The body is clearly designed to digest food just fine in the presence of water. Although he doesn't want you drinking water with your meals, Brady is passionate about hydration. And the amount of water that he suggests drinking, anywhere from 4 to 6 liters a day, is far in excess of the amount of water you would need to stay hydrated. Unless, of course, you're currently serving on a chain gang in Death Valley. Brady also adds an electrolyte concentrate to every glass of water he drinks. And don't worry, you can buy it on his website. Now, given the nutrient density of Brady's diet, he probably gets more than enough electrolytes from his diet. However, I suppose some extra electrolytes could at least reduce the risk of overhydration from drinking all that water. There's plenty more to talk about, but first, if reading Brady's book inspires you to take your fitness regimen up a notch, then you'll be extra glad to hear from this week's sponsor. Beachbody On Demand is an online fitness streaming service that gives you unlimited access to a wide variety of highly effective world-class workouts, personalized to meet your needs. You have the ability to stream over 600 different workouts from programs proven to deliver amazing results like PiYo, P90X, 21-Day Fix, and more, all from your web-enabled device. With step-by-step program guides, workout calendars, and the motivation and support of a growing community, Beachbody On Demand is the total package. I like doing yoga in the mornings, but the yoga classes at my gym are all an hour long. But on Beachbody On Demand, I found the perfect little 30-minute yoga session that I can do in the morning right in my living room. And if I get bored with that or I want something a little bit more extended or challenging, they've got tons of other classes for me to try. This is a brand new service, but they already have racked up over 1 million members. And now you can claim a free trial membership when you text DIVA to 303030. You'll get full access to this entire platform for free just by texting the word DIVA to 303030. And now, let's get back to TB12, Tom Brady's protocol for achieving peak performance. Brady takes issue with pale or white foods, but obviously, evaluating foods by color has its limitations. Onions, garlic, cauliflower, white beans, and halibut are all foods it would be a shame to avoid based on their lack of pigmentation. In fact, the humble white button mushroom, which Brady never eats, contains more antioxidants than tomatoes, green peppers, pumpkins, zucchini, carrots, or green beans. Speaking of white foods, the TB12 method also advises that dairy products be consumed in limited quantities because they, quote, are high in calories and lower in nutritional value than other foods, end quote. Really? Well, that kind of depends on which dairy products and which nutrients you're talking about, not to mention which other foods you're comparing them to. Triple cream brie is pretty low in vitamin C and pretty high in calories, I'll grant you. But if you're looking for a source of highly absorbable calcium, you really can't do much better than milk or yogurt, which will give you a third of your daily requirement for about 100 calories. And a serving of low-fat cottage cheese will give you as much protein as a serving of chicken breast for about the same calories. Now, Brady is careful never to eat protein and carbohydrates together, and this is an old food combining myth that I've debunked in the past. And he strictly avoids nightshade vegetables on the mistaken belief that these are inherently inflammatory. Now, as I've written about before, nightshades, which include tomatoes and peppers and eggplants, may be a problem for the small percentage of the population with a solanine sensitivity. But for the rest of the population, they're both nutritious and, if anything, anti-inflammatory. And no woo-based regimen would be complete without the belief that certain foods alkalize the body. And sure enough, Brady suggests that 80% of your diet should be made up of alkalizing foods. And Brady also advocates frequent snacking throughout the day. And just to make it easier for you to follow this advice, you can buy TB12 branded snacks for just $50 a box. Unfortunately, for those of us who do not exercise for a living, frequent snacking often results in excessive calorie intake and weight gain. And as you've heard me say before, the idea that eating frequently is somehow necessary to keep your metabolism stoked up is a very often repeated but completely unfounded myth. But wait, don't the results here sort of speak for themselves? Aren't Brady's physique, performance, and longevity all the evidence we need that this approach works? Well, something's obviously working for Brady. In addition to fantastic genes, talent, focus, discipline, a great work ethic, a job that involves working out for several hours a day, a support staff, and virtually unlimited resources, well, he's also got a very nutritious diet. But given what he's got to work with here, I bet he could be getting the same results from a less restrictive or complicated regimen. Here's the bottom line on the TB12 method. Read the book, if you like, for the entertainment value and maybe the inspiration. Bookmark the recipes that look tasty to you. But when it comes to implementing the nutrition program, let me save you some time, effort, and money. Brady's best advice about nutrition can be summed up in just a few simple principles, and these are ones that you'll recognize if you've been following my podcast for any length of time. Number 1, eat whole foods most of the time. Number 2, eat tons of fresh vegetables. He's definitely got that right. Number 3, have some protein with every meal and snack. It's also a good idea. Number 4, choose healthy sources of fat, such as avocado and nuts. And number 5, limit added sugars and refined flour. Now, as for Brady's training advice, which takes up at least half of the book, that's a question that's better handled by my Quick and Dirty Tips colleague, Brock Armstrong, who now hosts the Get Fit Guy podcast. And I think we can look forward to a podcast from him in the near future on the TB12 method. And if you'd like links to previous episodes that I've done that debunk all of these various myths that come up again in the TB12 method, you'll find those in the transcript for today's show, which is at nutritiondiva.quickanddirtytips.com. So have you read Brady's book yet? Or maybe you've tried some of his nutrition tips? Well, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Post your comments on our website or on the Nutrition Diva Facebook page. Thanks for listening. Have a great week. And remember to eat something good for me.